NBA offseasons often bring blockbuster trades and seismic shifts for franchises. This summer, the Boston Celtics stand at one of their most uncertain junctures in recent memory. With star forward Jayson Tatum sidelined by a devastating Achilles injury and luxury tax constraints looming large, the Celtics front office, led by Brad Stevens, may be forced to overhaul what was once a championship-caliber core. But what if there was a trade that could provide Boston both salary relief and immediate frontcourt reinforcements? Bleacher Report's Dan Faval recently proposed a three-team trade that would send defensive stalwart Jrue Holiday to the Dallas Mavericks while bringing new pieces to Boston and Brooklyn. Let's unpack the details, motivations, and ripple effects of this potential deal involving the Celtics, Mavericks, and Nets. At face value, this multi-team trade seems to address key needs for each team. Boston would offload Holiday's hefty $134 million contract with 3 years remaining and acquire two versatile frontcourt players. Dallas would gain a proven two-time All-Star and elite defender to bolster their backcourt alongside Luka Doncic. Meanwhile, Brooklyn adds depth and future draft assets as part of a longer-term rebuild. Why would Boston make this move? Faval explains that Boston's motivation centers on increasing flexibility, reducing payroll, and possibly positioning for future significant moves. With Tatum's injury likely resulting in a down year, acquiring frontcourt talent and easing salary commitments could allow the Celtics to pivot strategically in coming seasons. Boston's current roster and salary outlook paint a challenging picture. The team's $134 million commitment to Holiday, combined with projected salary and luxury tax bills exceeding $300 million, clashes with the reality of a roster that might fall short of playoff contention next year. Trading Holiday, who is 34 but still an elite two-way player, makes clear financial and competitive sense. Holiday averaged 11.1 points, 4.3 rebounds, and 3.9 assists per game last season, shooting a respectable 44.3% from the field and 35.3% from three-point range. His defensive prowess remains his standout attribute, widely considered among the best perimeter defenders in the league, comparable to the likes of Alex Caruso. But with Boston's championship window seemingly paused and costs mounting, the front office likely views this move as setting the stage for a more sustainable rebuild or retool. Dallas. The logical destination for Holiday remains a coveted player around the league, unselfish, battle-tested, and capable of locking down the toughest opponents. This makes Dallas a natural fit, pairing Holiday's elite defense and clutch scoring with Luka Doncic's offensive brilliance. However, the Mavericks aren't the only team interested. NBC Sports' Kurt Helin notes that the Houston Rockets and San Antonio Spurs could emerge as serious contenders if Boston entertains offers. The market for Holiday is competitive, which could ultimately boost Boston's leverage and the return they receive. While Faval's proposal prioritizes financial flexibility for Boston, other potential deals might bring higher value assets. His professionalism and leadership have earned him deep respect within the Celtics locker room and among fans. Yet, the reality remains. Boston may have to choose between honoring Holiday's commitment or focusing on a future championship timeline that might not arrive until 2027 or later. For Holiday, a move to Dallas offers an immediate shot at contention alongside Luka, Kyrie Irving, and a team primed for Western Conference success. The bigger NBA picture, league-wide ripples. If this three-team trade or a similar deal materializes, its impact would be felt across the league. Boston would pivot toward a strategic reset. Dallas would solidify their status as a title contender, and Brooklyn would quietly reload with draft capital and role players. Other Holiday suitors, like the Spurs and Rockets, might have to recalibrate their plans in response. For fans and analysts, it's a reminder of how quickly fortunes can shift in the NBA. Just a year ago, the Celtics seemed poised for long-term dominance. Now, after one devastating injury and looming tax issues, they face difficult choices between loyalty and rebuilding. The crossroads, ahead for Boston and Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens faces one of the toughest decisions of his career. Does he trade Holiday to maximize flexibility and reboot the roster, or does he keep the veteran leader to preserve culture and experience, risking another costly, uncertain season? What would you do if you were in the Celtics front office? Would you roll the dice on a rebuild, preparing for Tatum's healthy return, or double down on veteran leadership for one last championship push?